Thought I'd make a video today on how to manage your portfolio once you're already in your position. If you go to Maker, MKR, on a daily, like I said, I've marked off where I entered in my position. I need to lock that, but lock that line in so it doesn't get moved. Well, so I'm watching this one like a hawk. It's technically on a sell signal because you're 2 days below your 18-day moving average, which is this light blue cyan line. Technically, I probably should have sold it over here. I've been watching it on a weekly basis also. And if it closes below this 4-week moving average, this yellow line, that's usually my confirmation of a get out signal. If you can hold it, if you can sweat it out till Sunday on crypto, because this could start down and end up rallying. It's on a 6 count weekly. So theoretically, it's kind of losing momentum. Your elder system's turning yellow on the candlestick. That's giving you a cautionary flag. If you look at momentum, your stochastic's already crossed down, so you've lost momentum there. But your RSI is still pretty strong. Your Williams has been saying to get out. That's on a 4 count. It's been saying since December 25th that Mike need to cut it. But your histograms on your QMOD, they're going up. So that to me tells me there's still strength. There's still buying. There's more buying than selling. So I'm probably going to hang on to it till the end of the week. I've got a pretty tight stop loss on it. If it goes below this line right here, I'd probably cut it. I've got an alert on it. So, my mentor says just go back 3 trailing days. So you go 1, 2, 3. But if that's not your lowest low point, you just keep going till you find your lowest low point, which would be this bar right here. The lowest low right there. If it gets below that, I would have to cut it. That'd be my stop loss. So RLB, I'm watching it. It's working pretty good. It's kind of bumping its head against the cloud right here on a daily Ichimoku, but cloud system. Hopefully we've started an uptrend on it. It was looking pretty good on the weekly. I thought it had a good 9 count last week. It ended up rallying a lot on Saturday, Sunday. So it didn't complete, the down 9 week. Ended up being an up week on that. So that could be a little problematic. I've seen those sometimes when you don't get your 9, you'll rally for 4 candlesticks. So that'd be 4 weeks. And then you may continue to the downside. So I'm going to keep this on a short leash. Watch it really close. So I put a stop loss on this one. You go 1, 2, 3. I need to actually move this bar up to right there. So that's my stop loss. If crossing down once per bar, get out. That'll be my alert on that one. Everything looks pretty strong on it. It's definitely above the 18. Your 4 moving average is crossed above your 9 and your 18. Ideally, it'd be better when the 9 crosses above this 18 on a daily basis. That really confirms that you're back in an uptrend. You can kind of go back in history and see when it did that last. Like right here, everything crossed. Technically there probably. Yeah, you had yellow, green, and blue right here. So that's definitely in an uptrend right there. When everything's color coded the right way. Now once these cross, like it did right here, that's a early red flag telling you there's a problem in momentum. That would have definitely been a good sell point right here around November 15th, right before a massive dump right there. But so nobody's perfect. You're gonna miss some. You're not gonna catch every little thing. You're not gonna time the bottom exactly or the top exactly to the micro penny. I could throw in some targets on this thing. Personally, I would probably just ride this thing out as long as it continues this uptrend on a weekly basis, at least on a day chart.
Because I want to make bank, bro.
Come on. And my alert. But so I'm gonna crossing down. I'd get out if I lose that trend line right here on this RLB roll bit. I think it's a decent company. It's a gambling casino coin. They claim they're printing money, I guess. So most casinos do. Keeping a close eye on that. Your GMX, I got first bid, second bid in on this. So technically, if it crosses down below my second entry, I might want to cut it, or at least think pretty seriously about cutting it. Nearly everything, I say everything, this one's technically on a 2 bars down. So I call it a -2 count. So theoretically, you could get 7 more weeks of down action. We could come down here to this 30 zone for all I know. Who knows? It could do pretty much whatever it wants, but I'll probably drop that to there on that 9 bar. But I have noticed when you're trying to time your dips, I don't remember which one it was. Let's see, run, turbo, Manta. I had one that was on pretty much a perfect. Yeah, these are stocks, but Cetus, Target, Gala. Which one was that? Cool. I don't know. It's like if you're trying to, time where it's going to bounce off of. Like I noticed this one right here on Tau. If you put that on a daily chart, you come back here to this 9 bar right here. That was your exact high off of that 9 bar. Let me zoom in on it. So I threw a trend line on that. I just identified it, a 9 daily high. And I'm just curious if it worked, But right here, it tapped right off of it almost perfectly. It went just a little bit below it right here on January the 8th. I thought that was pretty interesting, that it held right there. That's just kind of random. I would have thought maybe this Ichimoku cloud or, possibly, somewhere up in here, 222, but it whipped down almost exactly to that high of that 9 bar. Just little things you pick up over time, but like I noticed on cattle, if you'd have had a Ichimoku cloud system up and going, I think it's a weekly. Is it weekly basis? Or was it daily? Yeah, weekly, right here. So Ichimoku has this baseline right here, this red line. That's a 26-week moving average. It bases on 26 candlesticks. And, man, it bounced, topped out right on it. Bounced right off of it this week. Well, pretty much, it's probably today. Yeah, it was today when it made the high. So, that would have been an awesome place to have your stop loss. If you do your drop down arrow, highlight that candle. It's right at 179.50. And you see where the high is, it hit 179.525. So if you'd had a sell order on that, you probably would have got that today. And man, you'd look like a genius. As far as the target, that's a pretty decent. It looks like if you get especially you get a big straight line, that much resistance. A lot of times these things are constantly moving around, up, down, up, down. But when it's going sideways for that long, that's giving you a pretty good odds, looks like, of where to take profit. And it could still go up here next week. You can still bump your head top of the cloud. It could come on up, for the next 4 weeks, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, you could even come up to 184. I would definitely probably be taking profit around this 187, 85, somewhere in that zone, 187. If I held it that long, but I wish I would have had the conviction, to stay in this one longer. I could have made some good money on that trade, but it did hit my first target. I was looking for 176. I think that was off of the bottom of this cloud. It hit it pretty easily. Yeah, that wasn't. Yeah, I think it was on the weekly cloud right there. That's what I was going off of. It hit it. It hit that target pretty easy. Actually went above it. Got inside the cloud. Hit the red line. I feel like next week it's probably going to go higher. Usually your 6 bar a lot of times will be your blow off candle. It'll really rock it up and get a sizable amount. Kind of like your 4 bar did, went up 2.3%. That's what I'm looking for on that one. But, some of these, what I'm going off of is this is a high risk trade that I'm doing right now. I got in a bunch of them this weekend. I know better than to trust weekend pumps, but so what I'm doing, I'm keeping them on a really short leash, on a really tight stop loss. Going back, my 3-day candlestick period, and if it hits that anytime tomorrow or whatever, I'm probably going to get out because if you don't have a weekly setup, which this is on a 5 count down. Ideally, if that was on a minus 9 weeks down, you'd have a higher probability of a bounce. That's what I was going off of when I got in the roll bit trade. Was if you look at it on a weekly, I started watching it really close when I saw it on an 8, and this bar was on a minus 9 until about Sunday. And then Sunday, everything just blew up. So Now Bitcoin, where's my Bitcoin at? I'm not in Bitcoin, but I like to watch it. It's up 1,000 points today. It's above the will stop zone for now. On a daily, it's on a daily 4 count, +4. So I'd say as long as it holds, I mean, you know, it's almost a new day, so I'm going to move it up, my stop loss on Bitcoin. So I would say 41,394 would be my stop loss if I was in Bitcoin right now. You could even say if it loses this will stop, 42,197, I'd probably cut it. That's just me, but right now I'm just playing really careful defense because this trade could go either way. I mean, it's about a 60-40% likelihood that it continues on up and completes hopefully a 9 count. You know, at least get 6-7 days out of it, hopefully. But I got in a little late on some of these. You know, I bought in mostly on a day 3 or day 2 on the majority of it. I ran a scan a while ago. It's a day 3. I call it my day 3 long bar trade. Actually, I want to reword that. Day 3 long bar. Okay. So it didn't work real good for today's setups, but man, yesterday, if I'd have ran this scan yesterday and bought in at the end of the day, you look at 1 inch today, had a down day on 3. This is following your 9 on a daily chart. So you can see you had your money flow in here good. You had a 9 count, buy perfection. Your day 3 went down. Day 4, boom, you made 8% on your money in 1 day. You could have even done that with leverage and just crushed it. Here's 5% on Pyre. Here's 1% on Theta, 4% on Dot, 1%. Wild had 9% on Wild. TIA, 5%. Flux went up 1%. That's kind of boring. GRT, 3%. QE, what is that? 3%. Magic, 2%. Cardano went up 7%. Phantom, 2.5%. EGLD, almost 5%. Mana, 2.5%. XRP, 2%. AGIX, 3.5%. Injective, 2.5%. Solana went up 5%. XTZ, and almost 2%. Matic went up almost 3%. Algo, 2.6%. EOS, man, that's boring. Gala went up 3%. Turbo, almost 3%. Bond, 2.5%. ZIL, every one of these worked, I think. Mover, 1%. Render went up on 8%. There's EOS again. APT, ApeCoin went up 3%. Bonk went up 3%. Near, 4%. Rose, 2%. IMX, 6%. APT, 3.7%. Even Bitcoin went up 2.5%. OP, almost 5%. Ruin went up 4.5%. RB, or ARB, 2.6%. Joe, 7.2%. That one you didn't have a down day. It was an up day, so I probably wouldn't have took it. But So you can get up days on day 4, but ideally, I've just noticed, especially after a 9 bar coming down, your first 3 days are usually you'll get a big up bar on 1, and then day 2, it might go up a little more, and then if day 3 pulls back and sells off, that's a really good time to buy it usually. And sure enough, man, that looks like the easiest money on the planet right there to me. We kind of missed the boat. I should have ran my scam. I was pretty sick yesterday. I was running 100-degree fever, so that was the last thing on my mind was trying to make money. But sometimes you gotta take what the world gives you, I guess. Super had a nice day, almost 14% today. Nice, coming off a down 3. Perfect. You couldn't have timed that better if you had a crystal ball. Now, Pepe didn't work. Pepe went down today so far, but Atom, 2.3, bet. It made 3.6, FET, almost 5%, Cody, 4.3, Sushi, 3%, Perp, 4%, GMX, 2.8, LRC. Man, all these just blew up. That would have been a beautiful trade, but I missed it. I'm going to be honest with you. I missed it because just didn't think about it. But, man, when you start seeing these 9 bars, -9 is a mental note to myself. After you see that 9 set up on a daily chart, start running that 3-day long bar scan because that thing prints money. That's nearly 99% of them went up anywhere from 3 to 14%. It's like, dude, that's easy money right there. You got to take that. That's why I like Symbolic, is because of this scan engine right here. You can set up these scans and just literally print money with it. Once you learn how to do it, it's not easy, but at the same time, it's not impossible either. I got a high school diploma. I didn't go to college. I'm not very good at math. I may have a little bit of a gift towards reading charts. Like I say, most people have to put their 10,000 hours in of staring at a computer screen and doing this kind of stuff before you get really good at it. I'm coming up on my 12-year anniversary in August of this year, so I would assume I probably put at least that many hours in. I don't know. I never have calculated it up, but on my days off, this is pretty much all I do for anywhere from 6 to 8 hours a day. So I don't know. I don't know how you calculate that, but let's see. Let's do 365 minus, say what? We'd do 80 times 36. That's 280 divided by 24. That's 120. 120. 120 days. Sure, that ain't right. Minus 120, 245 times 8. That's 1,960 hours a day of my days off. Times that by 11. And possibly 21,560 hours that I could have potentially been looking at charts. So, I should be getting it by now. You would think. If you don't have it by now, you may never get it. But it feels like, I'm starting to piece together some pretty good strategies that are proven to be successful. So, that helps you at least a little confidence where you don't feel like you're wasting your time and money anymore. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I struggled for a while. I mean, there was times it was all I could do, just not throw in the towel and give up, and say the heck with it. Go buy some golf clubs or a bowling ball or something, Harley Davidson, a horse, something. Anything would be cheaper than, just dumping money down the drain. But like I say, hopefully, I'm starting to see some success at it. But that's what I do. What I was taught by my mentors: do a 3-day trailing stop. You just count back 1, 2, 3, and if that's not your lowest candlestick, then you want to go to the next one. There, that's your lowest low point. I know it's kind of confusing with all these lines and stuff on here. Let me turn this stuff off so you can see it better. Let's see it. So I'm counting back one. Technically, after today, I'm here in about 20 minutes. Or not 20, but 40 minutes. It'll be a new day. So 1, 2, 3. That's still not your lowest point, so I'm going to just leave it right there on this one. I really ought to have an alert on it. Technically, I would like to put it on my entry, but from what I've been told is that if you don't give yourself enough leeway from the current price, you're going to get stopped out a lot. So you have to give a little bit of risk to capitalize on the reward. At least give yourself time to be proven right on your theory or your thesis. Now this one right here, it's on a 7-count daily. Weekly, it's on an 8-bar. So I put in a target up here to sell half. If it hits this 15-cent zone, I'm gonna sell half of it. Take some profit, because once you've run for 8-9 weeks, a lot of times you've milked the best of it out of it. So I may hold the other half, see if it runs on up to a 13 count. Because I have seen, so they get hot, and if nothing else, throw a trend line, throw a ray on it. Yeah, I'd probably put that right there. Let's see, right there. Maybe this one. Yeah, I like using my recent low points. That's what I've been taught for your trend line. So I'd probably put it right there. If that crosses down, I want to know about it. I want to get out. Set myself an alert. I'm probably getting way up in my alerts again. I'm nearly 270 alerts again, but that's really the only way you can stay on top of. Because I'm managing now, close to 20 different coins. I could probably take some of this stuff out that I'm not using. I don't use Bitcoin. I'm not in Starbucks. I'm not in any of these stocks. I'm watching these commodities. I'm not going to get in cattle. Cattle's run its course, I think. Soybeans are taking a beating today. I don't know what the deal is with that. I'm glad I got out and took profit. Copper looks pretty good. I might get in a copper trade tomorrow. I think off of 1 hour. If I get a Fibonacci retrace, possibly around this 3.87, I might throw in a bid on that. Try to catch that little pullback, bounce right back. Most likely, because you're on a 4-hour 4-bar, so that's pretty strong. Now you could be getting a little long in the tooth on your momentum, but I think it's still got some legs left in it. As far as daily goes, you're on a 5. Now this could be pulling back. Looks like. right now. This could whip down and whip right back up, though, by the end of tomorrow. So looks like that market's already back open. I think 5 o'clock it opens back, starts back to going. I like those markets that run, more than like 6 hours a day, because it's like cattle. I didn't like trading cattle. They're only open like 6.5 hours a day, and if you're not there to watch it, it was just too hard to try to manage it. But so that's what I'm doing. I'm watching everything on a tight stop loss. Probably ought to have alerts on everything, but I'll watch it at the end of the day. Here about 30 minutes, I'll check it again, make sure everything's still on the up and up. For now, everything looks pretty decent. My towel trade, everything looks all right. That's a new high on towel. Wow, that is going on up. So that may retest that tomorrow at 399, possibly. Is that where that's at? 395.0. Yeah, 395. That was the highest high point. Weekly, it broke out of this downtrend right here. I could draw that back in there to show you, but right there, I think I had it. Even if you went to this 4-bar, it definitely broke on this weekly candlestick, broke out above your downtrend line. Now you have a confirmation candle this week, so that's confirming you've got an official breakout of your down trend line. Now, it could come back and retest, but hopefully it at least holds this uptrend line. If it does, I felt like I was late to the party on that one because it already hit a 9 count over here. I mean, you got your 4-bar pullback. You actually got 5 or 6, technically 6. It made its highest high on this 8-bar. So 6 candlestick pullback and then just shot out. So, I mean, you just never know when it's going to do it. Ideally, you hope you get a 9 count coming down, and that's like playing wiffle ball with third graders, but, that's almost a guaranteed money thing, in a decent economy. But so we'll keep an eye on that. And hopefully that helps people update their stop losses, how to do it. What I've been doing on this entry thing is I'll look it up on my broker, see the exact decimal place I bought it, and I come in here, type in the exact decimal to the penny, and then you go to text. I just write the words entry right there. On the right side, hit OK. And then I've been locking it in with this lock bar so it doesn't get moved around. And so that way I look at it, on a daily or a weekly chart, and I can tell exactly whether I'm in the money or not, or whether I'm underwater. Ideally, I should probably have an alert on all my entry levels, and then that way, if it goes against me, I can get out close to my entry level. That would limit my downside as much as I could. I don't think that's a bad strategy, especially if you're in an environment where you're not 100%, or at least 75-80% likelihood of going up. You just want to try to protect your downside as much as you can. Try to limit, take some profits, or, just try to maximize your profits every chance you get. But it looks like this thing's back off to the races, man. I can't believe it's still going. But so anyway, I'll end this video, and we'll Catch y'all later on the next one.